Hey there, it's Helen Marshall here. I'm your personal Primal health coach, and I am a big fan of the Primal lifestyle and bringing to you today the Primal Blueprint Carbohydrate Curve. The Primal Blueprint is put together by the fabulous Mark Sisson, of which I'm one of his Primal health coaches. Now, everyone's always talking about carbohydrates and low carb and ketosis, but what does it all mean? And what sort of amount of carbs should you be shooting for each day? So the reason that we want to be moving away from excessive carbohydrate consumption is because of the consequent insulin production. So it's all about insulin. And in a nutshell, if you want to increase your lifespan, you want to reduce the amount of insulin that you produce. So when you're at your ideal body composition and eating plants and animals, you'll default into your effortless weight maintenance zone. And if you're interested in losing weight, you can take more of a focused effort to eat in the sweet spot. So you can see down there, we've got 0 grams of carbs to 50 grams of carbs is where you're in ketosis. And then the sweet spot there of the 50 to 100 grams of carbohydrates per day is the sweet spot for effortless weight loss. Okay, I'm going to talk you through each of the different areas, and I'm going to talk to you about what you can do if you want to really dial in your macronutrients and have a look at how you're going. It can be a really awesome, reflective, insightful awareness thing to do, even if you're like me, have come from decades of counting calories and you're like, oh my God, I've come to this lifestyle because I want to get away from counting things. You can actually be quite surprised to find that you might be just not getting the results that you want. And I see this quite a lot, because you are nudging the carbohydrates ever so slightly. So let's look at each of the areas. So 0 to 50 grams a day, that's ketosis, or your intermittent fasting zone. Now, this is okay for like a 1 to 2 day intermittent fast. If you're looking for aggressive weight loss, it can be done if medically supervised for weight loss programs, or for the obese or type 2 diabetics can be really good for there too, so long as you're getting adequate protein, adequate fat, because that's your fuel, the fat, and potential supplements if required. Now, eating in this zone isn't recommended for a long-term practice. And Mark Sisson, even though he's written the book, The Keto Reset, that's exactly what he uses it for. So being in a state of ketosis for 6 weeks it resets your metabolism, basically. And he reckons it should be on everybody's bucket list of things to do at least once in your life to build the mitochondria in your cells, which are like the fuel within your cells, just kind of reprogram your body from getting out of that carbohydrate dependent diet that you've been suffering from for how many decades have you been on this planet? So not necessarily, although I know there are people out there who live in keto all the time, but really what we're looking for is metabolic flexibility. So you can go on days with not very many carbohydrates, but then if you went to a friend's birthday party and had a piece of cake, you don't want to be spiraling into this like sugar craze. You want to be able to deal with whatever comes your way. That's what I think the key is, just to finding something that's doable and sustainable and flexible. Okay, but if you're wanting to lose weight, you want to be shooting for 50 to 100 grams of carbs per day. And this is why. So we're minimizing insulin production and therefore accelerating fat metabolism, because when insulin is in the bloodstream, it literally cuts off access to your fat stores. So you cannot burn fat when insulin is in your body, and you also cannot burn fat if cortisol is in your body. So you can see how we talk about slowing life down, reducing stress. You can see why when you look at it that way. So you want to be meeting your average daily protein requirements, and to work out yours, you can either get an app. I love MyFitnessPal. It's an app that you can install on your phone, and that basically works everything out for you. Or you can do a little sum, which is 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of lean mass. Okay, so what you want to do is weigh yourself, work out how much of you is muscle mass, and then it's 1 gram of protein per pound of lean mass. You'll just have to change your scales to pounds and not kilos if you are in Australia. You also want to be eating nutritious vegetables and fruits, and stay satisfied with delicious high-fat food. So meat, fish, eggs, nuts, and seeds will keep you full for longer. And you want to be losing about 1 to 2 pounds, which is about half to 1 kilo of body fat per week in the sweet spot. Now, 100 to 150 grams of carbs per day is known as the effortless weight maintenance zone, and this allows for genetically optimal fat burning, muscle development, and weight maintenance. And this rationale is supported by humans eating and evolving in this range for 2 million years. So, hey, it's been tried and tested. So you can enjoy carbohydrates from fruit, nuts, seeds, high-fat dairy products, and dark chocolate. Now, the 150 to 300 grams per day is pretty much the standard Western diet. So it's a continuous insulin stimulating system, and you'll know it, you'll remember it, or you'll be on it now. It's that roller coaster of ups and downs of sugar and insulin and feeling hungry and feeling cross. And so it really prevents deficient fat metabolism, contributes to massive health conditions. And really, this is the place that promotes the development of metabolic syndrome. Not a cool place to be. Now, 300 or more grams per day is the danger zone. And this is where the average American falls, thanks to the dietary guidelines, which we suggest that we eat 45 to 65% of our daily calories from carbs. So if you do follow this way of living for a long time, you're likely to gain weight, get metabolic syndrome, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and other chronic health problems. And, really what you want to be doing is getting back to plants and animals, meat, fish, fowl, eggs, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, fats and oils. And it's almost effortless, really, to get when you're eating, a beautiful piece of grass-fed meat with a big salad and a delicious dressing, some lovely olive oil, some olives, seeds sprinkled on top. It's really easy to keep the carbs down. But if you're finding that you're not getting the results that you want, I really suggest, doing an experiment in you. Do your own N=1. Get the MyFitnessPal app. I know I've recently done it, and I was gobsmacked, to be honest, because my diet is I'm primal to the nth degree. This is how I live my life. I love it. And yeah, I was surprised. I was nudging the carbs. Yeah, I was not too badly, but just in the weight maintenance. And after having a few thyroid issues at the end of last year, which are now miraculously healed, thank you very much, clever body. Well, not miraculously, but it is miraculous how the body can heal so quickly. I want to shift a little bit of that weight that I put on when my thyroid was a bit sluggish, and I ain't going to do that if I'm eating 100 to 150 grams of carbs a day. So MyFitnessPal is really cool. You can enter the foods you're eating. It works out the macronutrients for you. You can scan in barcodes of the foods that you're eating, but pretty much everything is already in there. Because there's millions of people across the world that are using MyFitnessPal. So check it out. If you don't want to get an app, another way to do it is to just ask Google, how many grams of carbs in 100 grams of bananas? How many grams of carbs in a piece of steak? How many grams of carbs in 100 grams of beetroot, etc. But generally, if you think, okay, I'm into this, I'm interested in carbs, but don't want to track it, not interested, then just remember this. So you want to be eating vegetables that grow above the ground. So you're thinking of your leafy greens, your herbs. What else grows above the ground? Come on, think of your veggie patch. herbs, leafy greens, kale, silver beet, those sorts of things. And then tomatoes, cucumbers. Come on, I'm coming up with some money. And then the root vegetables, the vegetables that grow under the ground, they're more starchy, they're more carbohydratey. And it's not saying you can't eat them, but just not loads of them. And definitely potatoes are very full of carbohydrates, as are sweet potatoes. You'll also find that nuts, that was where I was doing it, getting a little bit over, was with my nut milks and smoothies that had nut butter in, made with nut milk. Nudge, 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 a little bit of banana in there, and whoop, 90 grams of carbs in one smoothie. So I'm tweaking that back, and what do you know? It feels good already. So look, I hope this has been super helpful for you. I'm Helen Marshall. I'm a Primal Health Coach, founder of the grain-free food range, Primal Alternative. If you've loved this video, please reach out, let me know, and hope to see more of you around the tracks. So good luck with your carb counting. Bye for now.